Welcome back to another exciting torch video. I have a super cheap eBay torch that I bought. It's called the police torch, and the 3W I assume means 3 watt. Not much doubt in my mind that 3 watts is unrealistic for a single cell AA powered light. Anyway, we'll have a quick look at it just to show you. It's not the most exciting torch, but it is super cheap. On the base we have the switch with a cover, and it feels okay. It's fairly firm with the click action. Have to admit, the finishing, you're obviously going to see differences between this and a more expensive torch. The lens cover is plastic, and the reflector looks plastic to me as well. They've just coated it with some silver. You've got that crenulated bezel, but it's quite thin. Not much chance of smashing through tempered glass with this. The overall build isn't great, but it doesn't fall apart. I've been using it on and off now for about a week as a daily carry, and it's been working okay. Threads on this are pretty nasty. They do have no lubrication, and there's no O-rings on this at all. So if you ever see this advertised as waterproof, it just isn't. There's nothing there to indicate any water resistance. If you got this inside a Christmas cracker, you'd probably be fairly impressed. I've definitely seen worse torches around in hardware stores, you know, the big box with about 20 or 30 of them that they have at the counter. It's a little bit better than that. Strange thing with the AA cell is the diameter is just too big, so it does waggle around a little bit. They could have made that a bit smaller. It's not going to take too long on the user interface with this, because it's just a single press on and off, and that is it. One power level, nothing else. There's one thing that I did notice though. If you have the torch on and you start to lightly press the switch, if you tap it a little bit it's okay, but if you start pushing it you get this flickering effect. But if you're into making budget B-movie horror movies, then it could come in handy. I've got some fake blood here in a glass, and you can get that nice flickering effect, and it does make it quite moody and atmospheric. So if you're into Resident Evil type movies, this could be the light for you. First thing you're going to notice with the torch on is that the power level isn't that much, and I'll go outside later on and show you some beam shots. It does stand on its head, and you can just about tail stand it as well. Depends on the surface. Sometimes it can rock around a little bit. Surprisingly, it also came with this, so you can attach it to a belt loop or a backpack or a keyring, something like that, and it has a quick release mechanism. It's probably worth more than the torch is. Also goes quite nicely with a SWAT badge. If you're curious about how to get one of these, just talk to a serving SWAT officer and they will give one to you. They give them to people who show an interest in their work, and I was chatting to a SWAT guy who was over on holiday. I was taking some pictures for him. I wouldn't try and submerge the light, but if it's outside in light rain it seems to be okay. Here we are down the side of the house, the police, and you can see it's not that powerful. I'm comparing it now to the JetBeam WL20 on the lowest mode, and that's 20 lumens. Based off that, I'd have to say the output's probably around about 10 lumens on this light. Definitely seems to be quite close to that. Not the nicest beam profile up close, but once you've pulled the light out or using it at normal distances, it's really not much of a problem. So hopefully you liked those beam shots, just to show you how powerful the Police 3 watt isn't. The runtime are about 28 hours on this with an Loop cell, and you'll see these on eBay. Some of the descriptions are quite comical, including water resistance. Some of them say it's 200 lumens, which obviously it isn't. This is what you get on eBay. I just show you a few examples of crazy ratings for torches which have small low power batteries and ridiculously high power ratings. This puts out probably around about the Maglite AA torch power level, so expect it around that minus the nice tint. So nothing exciting here, it is just a budget cheap torch, but if you're going to throw it in the toolbox, back of the car, or give it to kids or something, it's not going to matter if it's going to get destroyed. It's really not that bad. It isn't a great torch, but still, for the silly price that you pay for it, I think it's okay. It's worthwhile for a knock around torch, having a bit of fun. Thanks for watching, catch you soon.